And I hope everyone is ready because I am so excited about this meeting. Because today we are going to have a fabulous day, giving us the proper coaching and at the same time, a very big takeaway on how we can actually improve our business, our DCT business. So, again, at this point, I would like to congratulate everyone who was able to join this mastery call because that is the best thing that you have done for today is to join this mastery call because there will be a lot of things that you will be going to get or to grab on this call. I am much excited as you are because the guy that I am talking about is, I believe, ready for us to for him to be introduced. Let me just give you a quick background on who is this guy that I am actually talking about. Are you guys ready? Because if you are ready, I am ready. I think everyone is ready. All right. Let me just give you a quick background of him. All right. So, from his humble beginning as a salesman for 14 years, that was 14 years ago, he was transformed into a network marketing legend. With an unmatched dedication to sales, he has achieved monumental success, earning seven figures in network marketing and generating over 14 million euros in commission. He has not only dominated his field, but has also helped companies achieve billions in revenue and becoming the top earner in both networking companies he joined. His expertise and passion for training have led him to conduct international training sessions worldwide, inspiring and educating over 30,000 people in the United States alone, and building a phenomenal team in 500,000 members globally across the globe. And at the same time, you know what? He managed to train multiple leaders who have earned more than $1 million annually in this industry. Are you guys ready to earn $1 million in this industry? Because you know what? He is an entrepreneur at heart. He is now involved in multiple industries and he is the co-founder of Life Mastery and where he delivered transformative training across various sectors. With immense honor and pride, we present to you one of the biggest trainers and personal coaches in Europe and around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, dreamers around the world, the extraordinary master trainer, Mr. Stavros Zenonos.
What's going on? What's going on, DCT family? Thank you, Kevin, my brother, for the nice introduction. And I'm happy to be here, my friends. First of all, before we start, let me see if you can see me and hear me clear and loud. Thumbs up. Okay, perfect. That was
we can hear you and I can see you clearly.
Amazing, amazing. So this is the first call, and I will say it's a historical call. I know that we are going to have multiple calls together, tens of calls together, hundreds of calls, why not thousands of calls together? But this is the first time that we see each other. And I have to tell you, I'm excited. I hope you are excited too. But I'm telling you, even if you are not, by the end of this call, you should be. I know many of you right now, you are wondering, who are you? Who is this guy? Who is talking to me? So there are many people that we know each other. We met each other before somewhere along the paths and the roads we had, but most of you have no idea who I am. So I'm going to steal 5 minutes from our time to share who I am and how I ended up here in this call. And first of all, I am from a small island called Cyprus. I'm at the age of 38. I know I look much younger. And I started network marketing back in 2011. Before that, I was working in sales. I was a car dealer, not car, but car dealer. I was selling cars here in Cyprus. And back in the day, Cyprus in 2011 was going through a huge financial crisis. I don't know how many of you heard the story, but in 2012, the Cypriot government, they got all the money that we had in the banks, no matter how much money you had, no matter what was the amount of deposits you had. Back in 2012, they got all the money and they said, we need to save the country. The country is going to go bankruptcy. So no matter how much money you have, we're going to leave you with 100,000 euros, and all the rest, we, the government, we're going to take this money to pay our debt, to get the country out of debt. And yes, you heard well. Let me repeat that, because some of you may think this doesn't exist, or you may didn't get it. The government of Cyprus got into your bank account, into the citizens of Cyprus bank accounts. And they said, I don't care if you have 2 million euros, I'm going to take everything from you and I'm going to give you 100,000 euros. If you had less than 100,000 euros, they didn't touch the account. But if you had more than 100,000 euros, for example, if you have 100,001 euro, they would get this 1 euro away from you. So now you can imagine many people lost millions. The millionaires, of course, they lost millions. But I'm sharing this story to get you into the mindset to understand how was Cyprus back then. Because before that happening in 2012, we went for 2-3 years into a huge financial crisis. So I was selling cars, which was the right thing to do at the wrong time. Tony Robbins, one of the people I learned from, and you will hear a lot about Tony Robbins during my talks, but one of the people that I really admire and I learned from, and I'm one of his students, he said, if you do the right thing at the right time, you will get rewarded. If you do the right thing at the wrong time, you will get pain. I was doing the right thing at the wrong time. I was trying to sell cars to broke people, and sales went down. I was working 12 hours per day, and I was feeling that I was running with all my power, but I wasn't moving. I was running, but I wasn't moving. So what happened is, one day, one of the most difficult days of my business, of my job, my wife called me and she said, hey, honey, you need to come home early tonight because a friend of mine is going to show us how to make money, have fun, and travel the world. And immediately, I created a wall to protect me from more pain. I rejected that immediately. I said, no way, I don't want to come home early. I don't want to watch any presentation. So, honey, even though I was planning to come home early tonight, I'm going to be late. I don't want to watch any presentation. Now, long story short, a few hours later, I went home because it was my house and I had no other option. And her friend was still there. Not only she was still there, but she was waiting for me with a laptop on her hands. So I wanted to be gentle with the lady, the young lady. She asked me to watch a presentation and I said, okay. But to be honest, I did watch a presentation. I didn't see the presentation. Sometimes in life, I know this happened to all of us. It happened to me. It happened to you. Sometimes in life, you are watching, but you don't see. So I did watch, I didn't see, I didn't understand anything. When the presentation was over, she asked me if I want to join, and I said I want to think about it. Honestly, I didn't want to think about it. I just wanted her to get out of my house. And that was the gentle way to say it. The same time I said that, when I think about it though, my wife, who was sitting right next to me, she turned to me and she said, "Baby, we are going to join this." And I said, "Baby, we're going to think about it." She goes, "No, baby, we're going to join." I said, "No, baby, we're going to think." And in Cyprus, we have what we call the G power. I don't know if you have any idea what's the G power, but G power is what we call the girl's power. When the girl they take a financial decision, usually the men follow. And this is what happened to me back then. Even though I didn't want to join, it wasn't a fortune, obviously, to invest. I said, okay, let's do it. A week later, my wife came to my office where I used to sell cars, and she said, "Hey, baby, I just made 500 euros in my first week." And that was back in 2011. And I didn't believe her at the beginning. So I said, "Show me the money." She said, "Let me give you a MasterCard we have from the company, and you go to the ATM and you get the money." And this is what I did. I asked her for the PIN number. Of course, I went to the ATM, I put the PIN number, and I took the money. After I took these 500 euros, I called her back and I said, "Listen, do you know anyone in this company, in this industry, the network marketing industry, who makes a lot of money? Not just 500 euros or 1,000 euros, but anyone who makes a lot of money?" And the answer was yes. I do know someone who makes over 10,000 euros. And I asked for his phone number. So she gave me his phone number. I called the guy. The name of the guy is Andreas. And I said, "Hey, Andreas, this is Stavros. I heard that you are making over 10,000 euros monthly. Can we meet? I just want to know how." He said, "Yes, of course. Let me know where to come and when." I gave him the address of my office. And same day, a few hours later, he walked to my office. And he walked to my office with sandals and a swimsuit. It was exactly the opposite of what I was expecting to see. Sometimes when you talk with someone on the phone, you create a picture in your mind and you expect to see that person in the picture that you created in your mind. And this is what happened to me. I was expecting to see someone around at least between 40 to 50 years old who's making a lot of money and is going to come with a suit. But instead of a suit, he came with a swimsuit. And I would say he was, back in the day, he was around 24, 25 years old. So he showed up and I said, "Hey, who are you?" He goes, "I'm Andreas. We spoke on the phone." I said, "Oh, you are Andreas?" He goes, "Yes." I said, "And they told me you are making over 10,000 euros monthly. Is this you that you are making over 10,000 euros monthly?" Again, back in the day, for me in 2011, 10,000 euros monthly from a part-time job was a lot of money. So he said, "Yes, it's me." I said, "I don't believe you." He goes, "Who cares? Either you believe me or not, this money goes to my bank account. So who cares if you believe me or not?" And then I told him, "Wait a minute. Can you show me the money? I don't want to disrespect you, but I believe in myself. If I find a vehicle that I can build financial freedom, I will do it. I will work hard. Take this with you. I mean, hold this hard work." Okay, network marketing, we call it network marketing for a reason. Some people, they forget that in the word network, we include the word work. So net/work. Remember this, because I'm going to come back to this. And he said, "Yeah, this money are going to my bank account. I'm going to show you the money." He showed me the money, and this was the day that I decided to get in. This was the day that I decided to start. Now, my first 6 months, I made approximately 20,000 euros, which was a lot of money, isn't it? 20,000 euros for a newbie, 6 months in the business. It was a lot of money. My second 6 months, I made over 100,000 euros, which is way more money. And my first 2 years combined, I make €1 million. That was my first 2 years combined. So many people are wondering, how is this possible? And what was the main thing that changed on the first 6 months to the second 6 months? How in 6 months you made 20,000 euros, but most importantly, Stavro, how you went from 20,000 euros to 100,000 euros 6 months later? And there is where I had the best and the biggest discovery of my life. The best discovery of my life wasn't that company, wasn't my first company. The first and the best and the biggest discovery of my life wasn't the product of that company. It wasn't the compensation plan. It wasn't even the industry of network marketing. It was personal development. Without any doubt, the best discovery of my life was personal development. The most important thing that happened in my life is not what I earned, but is what I became to earn what I have earned. Let me analyze this. When somebody is offering you a job, many of you are asking how much I'm going to earn. My question is what I'm going to become. Because what you earn is temporary. What you become is permanent. So together, every single week, we're going to have a similar call, a call that we will develop your skills, a call that we will develop your character, a personal development call that, yes, is going to help you to make more money. And I know many of you, this is what you are looking for. It's going to help you to grow your team. It's going to help you to expand in other countries. It's going to help you to develop your leader within your leadership skills. But don't forget that if you empty, that was Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin said, if you empty your wallet into your mind will always going to fulfill your wallet. If you empty your wallet into your mind will always fulfill your wallet. So if you learn a skill, if you learn how to make money, if you learn how to build a network, if you learn how to build a team, if you learn what to do and what not to do, then you can build from anywhere, anytime, anything. So I know that we don't have a chat box. I don't know if it's possible to have a chat box because I would love to ask some questions. If it's not possible, Kevin, no worries. We will have it from the next call. I would love you guys to participate in every call. This is not going to be me training you. This is going to be me leading you to a training. The one who is going to train yourself more than anybody else will be you. So if we don't have a chat box right now, all good. You can let me know on the WhatsApp group, Kevin, if it's impossible. And guys, we are going to have it from next time for sure. No worries at all. So, but I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question, and I know I cannot see the answer, but you can answer yourself. And here's my question. How many of you are in network marketing for less than a year? How many of you are in network marketing for less than a year? And how many of you are here for more than a year? Now, here's why I'm asking this. If you are here for less than a year, your number one goal is to be here next year. That's your number one goal. If you are here for more than a year, still your number one goal is to be here next year. And I'm going to explain this. I'm going to justify this. I know that winners say, Stavros, come on, my goal is not to quit. My goal is to win. No, I'm not the type of person that I say never quit. Yeah, never quit, but also always win. Because if you quit but you do nothing, what's the point? Here's what you need to understand though. Your first year in anything you do in life is your survival year. Yes, network marketing is an amazing industry, which is not perfect, is just better. Network marketing is not perfect, my friends. It's just better. And it is an amazing industry. But if you think you will be millionaire overnight, if you think you will be successful in 24 hours, if you think in a month you will solve your financial issue forever and you'll become financially free for the rest of your life because you worked for a month, this is not going to happen. This is not going to happen. Your first year is your survival year in anything you do. Why? Because you should get more knowledge than results. Now, are you going to get results? Of course, yes. I told you my first year I made 100,000 euros. And I have people, I have a lady that she worked with me in my team that her first year, she made €1 million. She is from Tahiti, a small island, even smaller than my country, and she made over €1 million. And she didn't even know how to speak English. She she had zero experience in network marketing, and in her first year, she made €1 million. The reason I'm saying this is to say, yes, you can make a lot of money, and you will make a lot of money, but your main thing, your first year, we call it survival year, because it's the year that you learn the most. It's the year that you should focus on knowledge. It's the year that you should grow the most. So focus on learning. That's your number one goal. And learning is all about growing your mind. And growing your mind is like growing any other muscle of the body. Mind is a muscle, just like your arms muscle, just like your legs muscle. Just like an arm or any muscle of the body grows more and more and more and becomes stronger because of exercising and using it, so does the mind. The more you use it, the more you exercise, the more it grows. Many people, they say, I went to a personal development event once and I don't think I need it anymore. I think I know everything I have to do. I think I have the right mindset. To me, it sounds like you say, Stavro, I took a shower 2 months ago, so I'm clean. I don't need to clean my body. I don't care what you think. The last time you took a shower was 2 months ago. People can feel it. Trust me, people can feel it. So it's not what you think that matters, but it's what's the reality. And if your body, you need to clean it every day to keep it clean. You need to take a shower every day to keep it clean. Why do you think your mind doesn't need that? If you need to work and use your arm, so you exercise the muscle, and the more you exercise, the more it grows. Why don't you think your mind needs the same thing? There is one thing that I believe about people, about human beings, and it is, if you don't move forward, you move backward. It's either forward or backward. You cannot stay the same. Why do I believe this? I do believe this because the universe is moving, the earth is moving, everything in this world is moving, technology is moving, knowledge is moving, and today everything is moving faster than ever before. So if you are not moving, everything else is moving. That means you are not staying the same. You are moving backwards, even if you don't get it. Either you grow or you move backwards. Network marketing, it is an art. I would say network marketing is an art that rewards very well. So you see, in wars, they give medals to soldiers. You go, you fight for your country, you fight for whatever you believe, and they will give you a medal when the war is over. They will give you a medal and they will honor you as a veteran, and they will say about what you achieved and what you did. In sports, they give cups. You win the Champions League, you win the Euro Cup. We have tonight a football game. For those of you that you love football, I'm one of you. I love football too. Whatever, they give you cups, they reward you with cups. In network marketing, the rock stars, you get rewarded with big checks. You make good money. They reward you with good money. Now, the $1 million question is, how can I become rich? How can I get those rewards from network marketing? How can I get those big checks and become rich? Stavros, I got into this call because they told me you mastered network marketing, you made millions of dollars, and I want to know, how can I become rich in this industry? How can I make money? Listen, as simple as this. Your ability to create a large group of people that will create a large group of people that they will do the same things over and over and over again will make you rich. Let me repeat that. Network marketing, how can you become rich? Is being determined by your ability to find a large group of people that will find a large group of people that they will do the same things over and over and over again. And this is what we call duplication. This is what we call duplication, my friends. But there is a catch. In everything I'm telling you right now, there is a catch. If you want to create duplication, if you want to make a lot of money in network marketing, if you want to get rid of alarm clocks, if you want to get rid of your boss, if you want to get rid of 9 to 5 work, if you want to get rid of everything you hate as a career and have everything you love as a career, you need to be able, listen to this, you need to be able to eat rejection for breakfast. You need to be able to eat rejection for breakfast. This is the most important thing. Why people quit? Because they get rejected. Somebody will quit on 1 rejection, somebody after 10 rejections, somebody after 100 rejections. I'm always saying to people, I know how good you are when I can see what you can afford. I know how good you are when I can see how much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how I know how good you are. I was listening to a TEDx talk many times, many mornings. One of my hobbies is to go on YouTube and watch those TEDx talks. They speak about general things. And once I was watching a referee. It was a guy who said, I became referee in order for me to learn how not to take things personally. This is the reason I became a referee, because I wanted to learn how not to take things personally. And at the beginning, I was wondering, what is he talking about? How becoming a referee in a football referee, actually, he was, how becoming a football referee is teaching you how not to take things personally. I was confused at the beginning, but then he said, because playing as a referee, I had some people that they were talking shit about me and they were talking bad about me, but a minute later, they were celebrating me. And then I realized that as a referee, I needed to understand that what they say is not about me, but it's also about me. What they say is not about me, but it has to do with me. It has to do with my insecurities. It has to do with my confidence. Because what they say is depending on my decisions. If I decide something that they agree, they will celebrate me. If I decide something that they disagree, not only they're not going to celebrate me, but they will hate me. So it's not about me, it's about my decisions. It's about doing what they want. It's about becoming likable. And that has to do with my insecurities. Same with network marketing. I'm always saying to people, the only way not to be rejected, the only way not to be rejected ever is to do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. This is the formula of not be rejected, my friends. Do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. Are you willing to do this? Are you willing to become somebody insignificant to the world, somebody insignificant to your family, somebody insignificant and useless to your friends because you are afraid to get rejected? Now, if the answer is no, and I guess is no, then you should be able to eat rejection for breakfast. The game we will learn together is how not to be rejected. But many people, they tell me, Stavro, give me the formula how to close everyone. Give me the formula, tell me what to do. And everyone I'm talking to, they say yes to what I'm selling. They say yes to what I'm having. And I say, hold on. If you figure this out, let me know too. If you know how to do it, let me know too, because I don't. No matter what I'm going to teach you, you're still going to be rejected at some point. I'm going to teach you how to improve your results. I'm going to teach you how to afford more. I'm going to teach you how to go through storms and be a winner. I'm going to teach you how to hit the wall and break the wall and get on the other side. I'm going to teach you how to win in network marketing. I'm going to teach you how to close better, how to invite better, how to present better, how to duplicate better. But still, there are going to be some days some people will reject you. I'm not going to teach closing today, even though it's my favorite topic. I'm going to give you some tips about closing, but I want to tell you this. Closing. People say, Stavro, tell me how not to be rejected. Tell me how to get everybody to give me yes. I'm saying no matter what you do, you should understand numbers. Numbers. Tony Robbins, again, I'm going back to Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins says, if you love numbers, numbers will love you back. So you should fall in love with the numbers. On a different training very soon, we will learn together how you see your scoreboard, which is your back office. Many of you, you are working hard, but you don't see the back office. You don't see the numbers. You don't see what you need for the next rank. You don't have strategies and methods to achieve the next rank. If I ask you right now, when are you going to achieve the next rank? Some of you, you don't know what to tell me. To me, it sounds that like you are driving a car, but you don't know where you want to go. Or even worse, you may know where you want to go, but you don't know when you want to arrive. It's like me and you having an appointment, and we say, you know what, Abdul, Adelina, you know what? Let's meet at Eiffel Tower. And we don't say when. Chances we meet are very tiny. You will go there when I'm not there. I will go there when you are not there. So, saying this, I want to say that scoreboard is important on a different training. We are going to go through scoreboard, but let me go now back to numbers and say, out of 100 people that you are presenting, there is a 10% that they say yes to everything and to everyone. Sometimes they shouldn't say yes. For example, sometimes someone is going to present them a drug deal, how to take drugs. They will say yes if they know it's going to hurt them. Someone's going to present them a scam. They will say yes, even though it's a scam. Someone's going to give them a strategy on how to steal somebody. They will say yes, even though they know it's wrong. They say yes to everything. This is why they get in trouble. Then you got another 10% that they say no to everything. And you give them the medicine of their disease. They are sick, they need that medicine, you give it to them, and they say no. They need a financial opportunity, you give it to them, they say no. They are lonely, and you ask them to go on a date, they say no. Has nothing to do with you. There is a 10% that they say yes to everything, and there is another 10% that they say no to everything. Sometimes you face that 10%, and they say yes to you, and you say, how good I am, baby. No, it's not about you. Sometimes they say yes to everything. If you hit that 10%, they will say yes to anyone. Some other times, you hit the 10% that they say no to everything, and you get frustrated. That has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them. Then you got an 80% that you got to influence. They say leaders influence, or even better, affect their environment. The rest of the people, they get affected by the environment, but leaders affect their environment. So you should be able to affect that 20%. What we will learn together is how to affect that 80%, And how do you do this? First of all, you got to take a decision to play or lean for a period of time. You got to take the decision to play or lean for a period of time, which means you got to find a large group of people that's going to find a large group of people that they will be able to invite, present, close, train, and promote. Those are the 5 skills that we will mainly going to work on. Invite, present, close, train, and promote. Now, I know someone may have a question, Stavro, for how long? Until you win. I don't know the answer. It's crazy when some people, they are asking me, for how long, my friend? For how long shall I keep inviting people? For how long shall I keep presenting? For how long shall I keep closing? It's like asking me how many times I need to have sex to get pregnant. I don't know how many times you need to have sex to get pregnant. Maybe once, maybe 2000. But this is what I know. It's easier to become pregnant if you enjoy the process. It's easier to become rich if you have fun and enjoy the process. If you have fun, money will come. So I don't know until you win. I don't know. Some people in the past, they said, if you do something for 21 times, you will master it. No, it's wrong. It's like telling me if you play piano for 21 times, you will become a piano player. If you play basketball and you train for 21 days, you will become a basketball player. No, no. Some people, they learn faster than others. So I don't know what's your number, but I know this. If you have fun, if you enjoy what you're doing, you will learn faster. This is what I know. You got to go all in for a period of time, and don't tell me it's difficult. Don't tell me it's difficult. Because people today, they study 12 years at school, then they go another, whatever, 4 years to college, then they are practicing another 1 or 2 years. So they are spending average 18 years on studies, average. Some of them 16, some of them 12. Average 18 years on studies. They spend a fortune, they spend a lot of money, and they do this, some people, until the age of 30, of 20, of 25, or 22. And best case scenario, you get a job. And best case scenario, you get a job that provides you with a salary that is enough for you to survive. So don't tell me it's difficult to go all in for a few years if you can build your financial freedom or learn some skills that will help you to build your financial freedom. If you are willing to study for 18 years, 17 years, 16 years, and spend a fortune in order to learn something that will give you a salary, which is going to be enough for you to survive, that's way more difficult. Here in network marketing, you have no monthly expenses, or at least huge monthly expenses. You may have some monthly expenses. You may need to buy a coffee here and there. You may need to travel, but not huge monthly expenses like other businesses requires. I do own a developing business, okay? If I want to do a project, do you know what are my monthly expenses? 7 figures. Not my monthly expenses, but my yearly expenses, 7 figures to do a project. So you don't have huge monthly expenses, number one, and number two, you don't have caps. You don't have limitations on how much money you can make. So you got to play all in for a period of time. Now, the only reason you don't play all in is because you're afraid. It's because you're afraid to play all in. And the only reason you're afraid to play all in is because you have excuses. So the only reason you don't have progress is because you don't play all in. The only reason you don't play all in is because you're afraid. And the only reason you're afraid is because you are providing yourself with excuses. Excuses. Let me give you the definition of excuses. Excuses are self-created delusions. This is what excuses are self-created delusions that we created those delusions, we created those lies because they are simply going to make us feel good. I'm too old for this. I'm too young. I don't have a lot of friends. I have a lot of negative people in my team. I'm too tired. I'm working a lot of hours. I have kids to take care. I don't have kids to take care. The self-created delusions, self-created lies. Now, the only way you will find your results is to get rid of your excuses. Once you get rid of your excuses, you will find your results. Let me tell you my 3 rules in network marketing. 3 rules. Rule number 1, get excited. Get excited with what you have. Anything you do in life, you should be excited. If you are not excited, you are not going to produce. Let me give you an analogy. You are in a relationship. Thumbs up if you are in a relationship. Thumbs up if you are in a relationship for less than a year. If this is your first year of a relationship, how do you feel? How do you react? How do you talk to your significant other? First year of a relationship. Hey, honey, can you take the trash out tonight? And then you go, yes, honey, I will take the trash out for you. First year of a relationship. Hey, honey, what are we going to eat tonight? Hey, honey, just choose your favorite restaurant and let's go. First year of a relationship. Hey, honey, can you change the TV channel? I want to watch my favorite movie. Yes, baby, whatever you want. This is usually the first year of a relationship. 5 years later, 10 years of a marriage. Hey, honey, will you take the trash out tonight? No, honey, do it yourself. Hey, honey, what are we going to eat tonight? Hey, I'm going to go out with my friends tonight to eat whatever you want. Hey, honey, will you change the TV channel? I want to watch my favorite movie. No, I'm watching football. So what's going on here? I'm telling you without any doubt is the lack of enthusiasm, is the lack of excitement. Statistically, listen to this, statistically, somebody, a couple, they have more times sex in the first year of the relationship than they have the next 5 years combined. Can you imagine this statistically? A couple, they do more time sex in the first year of the relationship than they do the next 5 years combined. Statistically, they say I love you more times during the first year than they do 5 years later combined. What's the reason? is because of excitement. You see, knowledge is important to me, and I'm going to show you later on why it's important, but I love ignorance on fire. I prefer ignorance on fire than knowledge on ice. Ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. Excitement always works. If you want to win in network marketing, get excited with what you have. The Americans, back in the Second World War, the generals, they had one rule for all the soldiers. One rule for all the soldiers. They went to fight against the Germans, right, in the Second World War. And they told them, here is your rule. While you are going to the battle, you should sing. You should sing. And the reason the generals gave that rule to the soldiers is because they knew that singing creates excitement, and excitement can be the best weapon of the United States. So they didn't count machine gun as the best weapon. They didn't believe that, you know, the tanks they had or any gun or any weapon they had was the best one. They believed that excitement was the most important tool, was the most important weapon. So get excited, my friends. People are not going to follow you if you are not excited. You cannot pick up the phone and say, hey, Ina, I'm too tired today, but I want to talk to you about something. Hey, Michael, I'm too skeptical, but I have something that I think it may be for you. No one is going to follow you. If this is your attitude, you should get excited. Number two, rule number two, pay attention. Pay attention. Yes, I do believe excitement is the most important thing, but knowledge, it is important as well. Pay attention. Pay attention to who? To the ones that they have the results. In today's world, we have the tendency to pay attention to the ones that we love, to the ones that we trust. And that's a beautiful thing. But sometimes it can be very ugly as well. Because I trust my dad, I love my dad. I trust my mom, I love my mom. But can I ask her for a financial advice? If she's not financially free, can I ask her for a financial advice? It's like me when I go to work out and I'm finding my best friend because I trust him and has good intentions, but my best friend is 200 kilos. And I tell him, hey, can you recommend me a good gym in the city to work out? Can you give me a good diet that I can follow? And he's 200 freaking kilos. And guess what's the main problem is? He's going to give me an advice. The chances are he's not going to say, are you kidding me? Can't you see that I'm 200 kilos? Why are you asking a physical advice from someone like me? He's not going to say this. He's going to say, yeah, let me give you my diet. Let me give you my gym. It's like asking someone with no hair where to go and have a haircut. And the same person is not going to say, hey, why are you asking me? No, he's going to recommend me his friend who is whatever a hairstylist, even though his friend may not be a good one, but he's still going to recommend me his friend. It's like asking my broke friend what he believes about my business. My broke friend is not going to say, hey, you know what, bro? I'm broke. Don't ask me, ask somebody else who's rich. No, he's not going to say this. He's going to give me financial advice. So you see, pay attention to the ones that they have the results, not to the ones that you love, not to the, when it comes on results, spend time with the ones that you love, help the ones that you love, be loyal to the ones that you love, but pay attention to the ones that they have the results. Now, if you can fall in love with the ones that they have the results, that's even better. But I'm not saying don't be friends with the ones without results. No, I'm not breaking relationships because of results, but I'm paying attention on the results. Let me give you a story about this. That's my favorite story. Oh my God, that's a crazy story. So, decades ago, it was a broke guy who was working in Valencia, Spain. And this guy was working in a clothing store. He was selling clothes. And one day, his boss showed up with a wonderful female dress that was costing a fortune. And he said to this guy, listen, you are one of my best salesmen. Here's a clothing store that we will sell. It's going to be the most expensive we ever had, but it's fancy, it's amazing, high quality. All the ladies will love this dress. And really, the dress was really nice. And it was that nice that every single lady was entering the clothing store was firstly and initially going to see that single dress. They were touching the dress, they were trying the dress, but most of them they were not buying the dress. And the reason was that it was too expensive. So the sales guy realized that, saw that, and he took the decision to create the same dress, something that was going to look like exactly the same as this one, but he used different raw materials, and he didn't put a brand on the dress. And he started selling the dress, and he made so many sales that he made more money in a month than he used to make in a year. So he took those money and he realized that he can do that thing again with something else. So he opened a shop, he opened his own shop, and he started selling now dress, shirts, t-shirts, jeans, shoes, everything you can imagine. But he was touring around all the big shops and the expensive and the fancy ones. He was stealing their ideas and he was using different raw materials and no brand. He wasn't branding the clothes, and he was selling those clothes way cheaper. So very soon he started copying the ideas of Gucci, Chanel, Dolce Gabbana, Armani, all the big brands you can imagine, even Nike and sport brands. And he was stealing their ideas. He was doing exactly the same thing. Long story short, very soon he opened another shop. Few years later, he opened another shop. Few years later, he moved from Spain. He went to the United States. He opened a shop there, a shop here. And very soon, he became the richest man in the world. The richest man in the world. At some point, all these big brands, Valentino, Dolce Gabbana, Gucci, Armani, Fendi, they took him to the court and they said, Mr. Ortega, his name was Emmanuel Ortega. Mr. Ortega, you are stealing our ideas. You are looking at our designs and you are stealing the designs, the fashion designs we do, and you are doing exactly the same thing. And Mr. Emmanuel Ortega, at that point, he was 85 years old when this happened. He said, no, I'm not stealing your ideas. Your ideas for a whole life inspired me. Now, this guy became the richest man in the world and is the owner of Zara. I know you know Zara, you have Zara all over the world. He's the owner of Zara. He became the richest man in the world. And if you go to Zara even today, you will see that many of the designs you see in Zara, you can find them in Gucci, you can find them in Dolce Gabbana, you can find them in Fendi, Valentino, but they don't have the brand and they use different raw materials and they are way cheaper. So this is how Mr. Emmanuel Ortega became the richest man in the world. Why I'm sharing this story? Pay attention. Pay attention to the ones that they have the results. And last but not least, rule number 3. I hope you are taking some notes. Rule number 3, never quit. If you lose, don't lose the lessons. If you lose, don't lose the lessons. In life, sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. Sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. There is another story that touches my heart, and it's a story with a guy from Cyprus who lost his whole family, and today he's a pilot. In 1974, we had a war in Cyprus. It was between Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots. And I know, I'm not going to get into politics. I'm not saying this story to get into politics. Politics is politics, different things. But during the war, you have people fighting against each other. And at some point, some soldiers entered a house in Cyprus, and there was a family of 5. And the father hidden himself, the kids the same, the mother the same. So the soldiers, they found the mother and they shoot him. Then they found 2 kids out of the 3 and they shoot them. And last they found the father. And when they found the father, they took him up and they said, "Who else is in the house?" And the father said, "No one." And they hit him with a gun. They didn't shoot him, they hit him with a gun. And he fell down. And once he fell down, he saw one of his children was hiding himself under the bed. So he put his arms and he put some power. He stood up in front of the soldier and he said, "Sons, I know that you are dead, but if you were alive, I would love to tell you, it doesn't matter how many times you fall down, it matters how many times you stand up and you fight again." And the soldier hit him one more time. He fell down and he put some power into his arms. He stood up and he said, "Son, I know you are dead, but if you were alive, I would love to tell you, it doesn't matter how many times you fall down, it matters how many times you stand up." And they hit him again. And he repeated the same thing, and they hit him again, and he repeated the same thing. "Son, I know you are dead, but if you were alive, I would love to tell you, doesn't matter how many times you fall down, it matters how many times you stand up and you fight again." And finally, they shoot him. His son today is a pilot, and he made an interview a few years ago in the Cyprus main TV channel, and he shared the story, and he said, "Yes, my father died. But because of that story, I learned how not to quit. I learned how to fight until last minute." I told you before, at some point you will hit the wall in this business and in every business. But what you got to learn is once you hit the wall, to go for the wall again and again and again until you break it. And once you break the wall and you go to the other side, I'm telling you, you will be a totally different person. Nothing will be able to touch you. Now, I know that we shared the 3 rules, and today was a little bit more about how to get started and some rules and get a little bit motivated. But also, I have to tell you, success starts with learning, not with motivation. Obviously, you need both, but winning is all about knowing what to do. The main reason why people fail is because they don't know what to do. There is another reason they don't do what they know, and this is what we call lazy people. But the main reason is because they don't know what to do. Some people, they see me on the road. Some people, they call me, we work together, or I'm doing a one-on-one coaching, and they say, "Stavro, motivate me." I say, "You are crazy. If you are spending time with me and you say, motivate me, you are crazy. You should ask me to teach you, not to motivate you." I said it before, network marketing is all about duplication. But remember, duplication starts with you. You got to lead you first, and then you can lead others. There are 4 steps of duplication, and I would love to share my screen. I'm going to show you what we are going to go through deeply next week. But today I'm going to give you some tips. I want you to be ready. So I'm going to share my screen very quick. Let me figure it out here. Perfect. I believe you should be able to see my screen right now. So 4 steps of duplication, inviting. First step is inviting. So people say, I want to be a good closer. I want to be a big presenter, an amazing presenter. I want to share good stories, good analogies. I want to be better than Jim Rohn. I want to be better than anyone I know. Listen, if you're a good closer, but there is no one in the room to sell, how many sales are you going to have? If you're a great presenter and you are doing a presentation into an empty room, what's the point? If you become, and this is what we're going to start teaching next week, if you become good at invitation, and you can invite more than 1,000 people, even if you are the worst closer ever, even if you suck at presentations, some of them will join by mistake. If you can invite and put in front of you over 1,000 people, some of them will sign up by mistake. So inviting comes first. Your number one skill to develop, the first skill that we will work together to develop is inviting. Now, source of inviting. Of course, you have your top 10, friends, family, brother, sister, whoever. Then you got a huge list, a big list that is everybody recognizes your voice. Then you got social media, Facebook, Instagram, any other social media platforms you are on. And then you got phone contacts. Every single one of them should be on a piece of paper. That's your source of inviting. That's how invitation starts. And then you got presenting. Again, we will go through presentation techniques and we will analyze them very well. For me, it's important that you can get minor agreements when you are presenting, you get others to agree. It's important that you are likable. People buy from you because they like you or want to be like you. Your presentation is your chance to give information about what you are selling or what you are having or what you are commending, but it's also your chance to connect. A sale starts with connecting first. People buy from you because they like you or want to be like you. I repeated it one more time. So when it comes on presenting, though, even if you are not the one who presents, you have something to do. You build faith. You connect by building faith. How you do this? Before the presentation, I'm always saying to people, why? When I say why, it means why I invited them and why I did it. These are two things that people want to know. So let's say I'm inviting today my friend Marina or my friend George. Hey, George, I invited you here today because you are my best friend in the world. George, I invited you here today because you have a very good business IQ. George, I invited you here today because I know you are broke and you need a way to make more money. George, I invited you here today because I like your profile on the Instagram page. George, I invited you here today because we know each other for 12 years and I know that you trust me the way I trust you. George, I invited you here today because I know you know half of the country. George, I invited you here today because I know you have a lot of free time or because you don't have free time. George, I invited you here today because yesterday we met at this cafeteria. You impressed me with the way you think, with your mindset. Whatever is the reason, even if you met him a minute ago, tell him why you want him to watch this presentation. Why? This is very important. It's a bridge to make the connection. Some of you invite, you present, you try to close. You don't use these techniques. And then you are wondering what is going wrong. You should connect before you do anything else. Listen, This is from John C. Maxwell, one of the best leadership authors in the world. And he said, no one is going to let you touch his mind if you cannot touch his heart. So you go for the heart. If you touch the heart, then you can touch the mind. So don't try to sell if you don't connect. Why? Then you should, another way to connect is to share why you did it. George, I started this a month ago because my wife told me, and I didn't want to disappoint her. Maybe it sounds silly, but if this is your truth is enough. Do not lie. George, I started this 2 months ago because I realized I have nothing to lose. George, I started this because I needed more. I needed a community to plug myself that is going to be fun and we're going to make money. George, I started this because I cannot find anything else that I can start with such a small investment. George, I started this because I had some extra money. George, I started this because I wanted to make some extra money. George, I started this because I wanted to use my network to make an income. George, whatever, because of the great trainings, because of the great experience, because whatever is the reason that you started. It doesn't have to be something big. It could be something small or something big. It has to do with you, your own reason. Then you say, George, I realized that this is bigger from what I was thinking. So whatever you sell, people will follow you if you show certainty. If you show uncertainty, people are not going to follow you. So the way you build faith is by saying it's something huge, is bigger from what I was thinking. Then you say that you are all in. I'm willing to do this, George. I'm 100% in and I'm willing to do it. And then you take it away. You remove pressure. You don't put pressure for people to join. You don't want to do this. Good salespeople, good closers, they do not put pressure. So you take it away. You say, listen, I'm all in. I'm going to do it anyway, with or without you. I believe you would love it, but it's on you. When we finish, let me know if you like it or not. When we finish, let me know if I was right, believing that you will fall in love with it. This is the way to build faith. Now, inviting, presenting, and then closing, my favorite one that we will do together very soon, and we will spend at least 90 minutes on closing on a different call. But closing is when you close the deal. Some people, they do inviting, they do presenting, and when it's time to close the deal, they say, okay, let's talk another time. Okay, I'm going to call you. Okay, go think about it and let's talk. Okay, let's go out, smoke a cigarette. No, closing time is the time that you close the deal, is the time that they say a yes or a no. So closing is very important. It is very important to have posture up. There are three things that people want to see: that the company is working, that you are working, and that they can do it too. If they see those three things, they are in. Whatever they say, they may say, I don't have the money. I don't have. If they don't have the money, let's say they want to invest 2,000 euros, but they don't. They don't have 2,000 euros. If they see that the company is working, so they are not going to lose these 2,000 euros. If they see that you are doing it and you are making money and you are doing it, and if they see that if they sign up, they will make more than 2,000 euros. If they understand those three things, are there any chances they are not going to find the 2,000 euros? So here is some people, they say, I don't have the money. And I say, if I can, I cannot. But if I can give you my signature and sign up a guarantee from me and from God, that if you sign up today, in your first month, you'll make your money back. But if that is guaranteed, if that is signed by the president of the United States, signed up by the president of your country, it's not going to happen. I'm just asking. If it's a guarantee, will you find the 2,000 euros in the next 2 hours? If that's a guarantee. And I'm asking this because I want to see if you are an opportunity taker or an opportunity loser. I understand you don't have the money. I'm just saying if it was guaranteed, it's not if it was guaranteed. Will you find the 2,000 euros? And if they say yes, just say, how? And I'm waiting to get an answer. How? And now they are giving me solutions. And then I can go back for the closing once they give me the solutions and they say, I will not spend this money here, or I will get this money from there, or this and that. I'm waiting for solutions. But if they see those three things, they can find solutions. Whether it's the time, there's some people, they say, I don't have time. I say, how many hours per day do you work? They say, I work 3 hours per day, or 8 hours. Let's say 8 hours. I work 8 hours per day. How much money do you make for 8 hours? They say, I make 2,000 euros. I say, if your boss is going to tell you instead of 8 hours, let's make it 9 hours. Not me, your boss in your job. If they tell you instead of 8 hours, let's make it 9 hours, but instead of 2,000 euros, I'm going to pay you 3,000 euros. Will you find that extra 1 hour per day? And most of the people, they say yes. And I say, so that means you have 1 more hour per day? And most of the people, now they say it already, they have. They cannot deny it. Now, those are some closing techniques that when we do the closing session, we will do a lot, trust me. But again, I just shared examples to show you that whatever people say, the reality is that they want to see three things: companies working, you are working, and they can do it. This is something they can do. Now, we are always using fear of loss. There are two main motivators, as we know. The one is gain of pleasure. The other one is fear of loss. I remember when I did life mastery. So my partner, Mark Aceda, who was my mentor for many, many years, he was always working with contracts only. So at the time I did life mastery, he was working for a network marketing company. And I called him and I said, listen, I want to do this company. I want to provide trainings to companies also outside network marketing on how to sell, how to close. I want to do one-on-one coaching with customers and this and that. So will you follow me? And for a year, I tried to convince him, and it didn't work. He was always saying, hey, let's talk about it. Let's think about it right now. I have some other businesses. And then one day I was traveling from Bucharest airport. I was in Romania, and I saw that a company was bringing in Romania 𝐿𝐴. So 𝐿𝐴 was coming to Bucharest. And obviously, because I worked in the past with Success Resources, I have contacts with many trainers. So I said, you know what? If Mark is not going to follow me, I'm going to do it with somebody else. So I called Mark and I said, listen, Mark, I was waiting for you a year. I decided to do it. I want you to be my partner. I want to work with you. I want us to be together in this journey. But if you are not willing to do it, I'm going to do it with somebody else. So this week, if you don't give me a positive answer, I will consider it as a negative answer. And I learned how to do fear of loss from him, and it worked on him as well. So he called me 3 days later and he said, I'm in, let's do it together. So closing is the third step of duplication, and then training. You should train people. If you teach people what to do, you can make some money. If you teach people to teach people, what we say, teach to teach, you can go to the beach. If you teach to teach, this is where you get most of your money. Okay, let me show you what you trade this with. You trade inviting, presenting, closing, and training with lifestyle, fun, friends, and money. So these are the 4 steps of duplication. If you invite, present, close, and train for a period of time, if you go all in for a period of time, you will have a great lifestyle, you will have fun, friends, and money. This is a fair trade, I believe, and this is what we're going to work starting from next week together. This is what we're going to go through. Now, last thing I want to share with you for tonight, my friends, is that one thing that I learned is that when you see money on the table, when you see cash on the table, take the cash, take the money. And right now, the company came with a new promo. I'm going to share my screen one more time. for July. So any promo that the company has is a tool. And I'm always saying to people, a tool is always as good as the user of the tool. So here's the promo you have. And that's just a tool that is here for you to use it. Whatever you don't use, you lose. If you don't want to use this dream meter that was presented to you last weekend as a tool, you are losing the tool. I learned in these 15 years of career, when I see extra money on the table, to take the money, to take the cash. I don't leave them behind. So starting from today, you have a whole month to use the Dream Meter tool to take it up to 100. So it's going to give you, as you can see here, extra benefit. You have times 7.5 if you do the Dream Meter cycle on beginners package. You have extra 10 on advanced package that it can go up to 20x. You have also not the 10% fee on withdrawals, but you have 5% fee. And that's a limited offer until 15th of July. So I'm going to tell you that the way we are going to work together will be mainly teaching you what to do, but also giving you the energy with some stories, inspiration, and motivation, and adding some extra promos. We will have some extra promos together. Now, here's the first promo from the first call. The first one, and I know that's a teamwork to go and do the Dream Meter, but I'm going to give you something which is an individual's work right now. We're going to have some promos that will be teamwork as well. The first one, after this call, in a few seconds we are done, that is going to go and get 6 new members between the next 10 days. That's from now up to 19th of July. It's an easy one. 6 new members, the first one. Somebody can do it today. Somebody can do it in the next 24 hours. But the first one who's going to get 6 new members is going to have a one-on-one coaching with me. Many of you will have the opportunity, and I will have the opportunity to meet you and go through a one-on-one coaching. And when we do one-on-one coaching, I'm going to specifically work on what you need. Maybe you need to improve your closing skills or invitation, or you have some blockages that we need to destroy, or it's a story, a personal story that we need to work to help you get rid of, or some limiting beliefs, whatever it is. The first one who is going to get 6 after this call is going to have a one-on-one coaching with me, and we're going to work together. So it's one-on-one coaching, and I'm going to give it to the first one who's going to go and get 6 after this call. So ladies and gentlemen, this was our first call, was an introduction call, was mainly some rules on how we're going to work together and the rules of network marketing. I showed you what's coming up next week. Now, let me tell you this. Next week, all of our calls will be same date, same time every week, unless I'm traveling, and next week, the same time, I'm traveling back from Malta. So we will need to do it on Wednesday, but the company will announce you the date. The company will give you the date. Don't worry about this. By tomorrow, probably you will have a flyer and you will have the date of the next call. This is the second thing I'm going to ask you to do. If you liked what you went through today, the real game starts next week with a lot of teachings. So make sure you plug your whole team in. Our goal is by the end of summer to have 1,000 people attending on these calls. We will make it happen for sure. The question is, will you be participated? Will you participate in the way we are going to grow, or you will step back and watch? And I know if you're on this call, if you're on the first historical call, you are positioning yourself for victory. So you're a winner. So I'm expecting you to participate next week, and I'm expecting you to bring some people with you next week. So thank you. Appreciate your time. Appreciate having me here today. Looking forward for next week, and we're gonna rock and roll together. Appreciate you guys. I will see you next week. Kevin, I'm passing the virtual microphone back to you, my friend.
All right, there you go. Thank you so much, Mr. Stavros. Wow, that was an amazing training. You know what, guys? Like what he said, I'm already congratulating you because this is already a phenomenal call. You are already a winner. You are already ready to be victorious about what will going to happen next. Because like what I told you, the guy who has the experience and the guy who already make someone a millionaire is already there with us today. So make sure next week you will be ready with your pen and paper because you will going to have make a lot of notes for you to have this kind of the training that is actually going to equip you with building $1 million on your account, right? We are going to see you again next week for another set of training. So make sure your pen and paper is ready, you're ready to listen, and you need to tell all your team that you need to attend this meeting, this training, because this is your key to success. This is a stepping stone for you to increase your earnings, for you to train yourself, for you to have your personal growth. This is a very important call, a very important tool that the company is providing is to have our own in-house master trainer, Mr. Stavros. So thank you for joining us, and I hope you've learned a lot, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much, guys, and have a good day.